Hello, everybody. I'm late in the garden today because the sun didn't come out until perhaps 15 minutes ago. But I'm out here now with my wine and my notepad and the book I'm reading. I've been multitasking today. First, I had to swap my TVs around. I awakened at my usual ungodly hour of like 5 a.m. Couldn't go back to sleep and thought I would turn the TV on, find a movie to watch, and see if that would do it. And I'm in the middle of a really good movie, a Hong Kong ghost story, when all of a sudden the picture went on my bedroom TV. B. So I got up, played with cords and stuff, got back in bed, and tried it again. Perfect sound everywhere. No picture. Well, the telly is 7.5 years old, so I didn't panic. I simply got up, unplugged it, put it in my storage closet, and then took the TV from the kitchen and put that into the bedroom. And then I went online to see who did TV repair in Dundee. So, no biggie. And then after that, I decided since I was awake, I would lay on the couch and watch TV. Totally switch it up and not watch the news for a change. Just go back to the movie I'd been trying to watch. And wouldn't you know it, I fell asleep, waking up at 9:45. So, it's been a relatively peaceful morning. So, what did Kathy watch up until the moment she decided to come outside and get some sun from the garden? In 2001, well, actually, let me back it up. In 1979, Anne Rice, the woman who wrote Interview with a Vampire, followed, by the rest of the novels in the Vampire Chronicles, they bought it. I forget which network. They bought it. She wrote a book called The Feast of All Saints, which was made into a made-for-TV movie in 2001. I've not seen it since it came out, and it just popped up in my YouTube recommendations, so I thought, ooh, I've not watched that in forever, so I'll watch it. And I watched that. If you've never seen it, you should watch it. It's all about the first settlement of the freed gens de couleur in New Orleans. And it deals with the history of the revolution in Haiti and how there was a custom then called fraissage, whereby the white planters, even though the slaves had been freed at this point, they would hold, the white planters would attend these balls at which the freed women of color, the ones who were light enough to pass for white, were like paraded. They weren't exactly auctioned off. It was all done in a very genteel manner. It was done under the guise of a ball. And then the planters would approach these girls, mothers or guardians, and make them an offer. And they lived very well, these girls, but I have to wonder about the practice. And I suppose at the time, putting it in context, perhaps it was better, far preferable to go away to slavery. I have to do an aside here. There's something about bees and butterflies. They like me. When I was sitting out here yesterday, The bees kept landing on my legs, and there was one butterfly who kept landing on my shoulder, and you guys know how terrified I am of butterflies. So that's what's going on right now. Go away. And I wonder if that's like maybe, or maybe I'm just being fanciful, their way of saying, thank you for creating this garden for us. Maybe when they land on me, that's their way of giving me, my props or a little hug. But I wish they wouldn't do it. I mean, there's enough flowers out here for them to, pay homage to or worship or whatever. So anyway, back to the movie, The Feast of All Saints. It's a two-parter. It's on YouTube. And the cast is like, whoa. James Earl Jones, Jennifer Beals, Pam Grier, Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis. It's an amazing cast. There is two actually, very, very hard to watch scenes in the movie. But if you've never seen it, I won't spoil it for you. I will just suggest that you watch it. So, the other part is I'm still reading. I'm almost done with Toni Morrison's book, Paradise, which, if you haven't read it, you really should. Apart from the fact that she's a spectacular author, one of the things that I love about Toni Morrison is that she's an Ohio girl, just like me. Paradise deals with the settlement of two towns after the end of slavery. The first one was called Ruby, where there were 78 families who didn't want to remain on the plantation, and they headed to Oklahoma, Indian country, where there was land that was still wide open, and they settled there. So let me try doing this. Maybe I am too close to the petunias, although it didn't seem to matter yesterday, because yesterday I was nowhere near the petunias and they were still like there. Okay, there. So they set up this township called Ruby in Oklahoma, and they have troubles with, of course, whites in neighboring townships, because the township that they had established, it becomes not exactly wealthy, but prosperous. Plus, they have problems with the other blacks in the area. And it dates, it kind of explains the whole thing that Spike Lee tried to explain in his movie School Days about, shamefully, the way light-skinned blacks and dark-skinned blacks pit themselves against each other, light versus dark, good hair versus bad hair, all of that. However, something goes wrong, and they end up having to leave Ruby. So once again, the families pack up, look for some land, and they settle a second township, and this one is called Haven. They stay in Oklahoma, but it's further away from the original settlement. So they set this up, and as the children of the original founders of Ruby grow older, they decide they don't like this lifestyle. They've heard about big cities in the north, and they want to leave. So this creates some dissension in the town, but even worse than that, the children deciding the parents' and grandparents' lifestyle isn't good enough for them. Some of the women in the town decide they don't like their life either. So there's a group of 8 women who leave, and they take over this old convent And that doesn't sit well with the men. It's a good book. I don't want to spoil that for you either. I hate to do spoilers, but if you've never read Toni Morrison's Paradise, I can highly recommend it. And that is it for my multitasking Thursday. TV swapping, TV watching, and book reading. I have 2 poems, but I haven't recorded them yet, so I either will or won't do that today and record them and post them, or it'll get done tomorrow for Friday. In fact, maybe I should just institute something and call it Poetry Fridays. What do you think? Okay, I'm sick of waving bees away, so I'm going to sign off now. If it's your birthday or anniversary, happy birthday or happy anniversary. If you're having a bad day, don't let it get you down. Stuff will get better. And until I post my next video, as always, stay safe and live well. That's your girl out.